kickoff of our new onboarding series. So the very first Monday of every month, we are going to dedicate to onboarding people. Feel free to share this with anybody that uses your affiliate link so that they can feel supported in this way. I will also be sure to have this recording available to you guys, so you certainly can repurpose this if you need to ever use this to send somebody just to kind of get them started in a fast track way. So we want to make sure that we're doing everything that we can to support you guys and make you feel like you have all of the resources that you need in order to be successful using this technology. I think that one of the things that all of us can agree to as that have been using this for a while is that it is amazing. There is so much that you can do with it. In fact, oftentimes when I talk about the AO scan, I'm talking about one tiny sliver of what's possible. And so when we recognize how much it can do, it can be overwhelming oftentimes to tell people how to use it. And so what I want to do today is just break this out into a very simple way to get started, because the most likely way for you to get a transformation is to actually use the technology, right? And so what I want to do is to decrease any barriers that you might have from actually getting in here, getting your hands dirty with it and experiencing the transformation for yourself. All right. I am going to just start off with a very basic overview of getting yourself logged in and using the technology. I'm also going to be sharing with you guys resources that I use on the regular, because I want you to feel equipped and empowered, I guess, really, to know that there are resources out there. And before I dive into all of the things that we're going to talk about today, what I want to do is just to bring down into our space some perspective, okay? So while there are people who are using the AO scan that have massive knowledge bases around energy healing and perhaps are already practicing as functional medicine practitioners or naturopathic doctors, for example, the technology was actually designed for everyday people like me. Who don't have all of this background knowledge. And I think that is oftentimes really inspiring to see how our colleagues are utilizing this technology to do amazing things. But I also want to just remember that all of us just get to play with it, experience it, and know that you cannot mess this up. And that the more that we start to dive into things and the more that you're drawn into new ways to use this, just let that be your guide, not allowing ourselves to get sucked into, oh my goodness, like there's so much to do. Just being guided by your curiosity and what lights you up and allowing the knowledge to follow from there. But today it's going to be a very basic overview because that's really how this is intended. Lauren Swenson, when he designed the AO scan technology, he really just wanted to give wellness, be accessible to everyday people. And he wants this to be in the hands of 1 million households. And that's a goal that many of us share because we recognize the power of our own healing and that we have the ability to really activate the healing within us. And this is just a way for us to utilize this as a tool for that. Okay. So I'm going to get started and I'm just going to ask that perhaps what we can do is if you have questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. And then when we are wrapping up, then I will make sure that I have covered everything. Does that sound okay with you guys? Excellent. All right. So just to introduce myself, for those of you guys who might not know me, I'm Dr. LaChelle. I am a user of the AO scan now since 2020. I'm very early adapter into this technology. I have a background in anesthesia, as well as a professor for the Doctor of Nurse Anesthesia program at the Mayo Clinic. And I am a newly member of the faculty for the Solex University School of Naturopathy. So really allowing all of these modalities to become part of my well-rounded band of expertise. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen to get started. And we are going to start here straight away with the AO scan as a login. So when you sign up with the AO scan and Solex, you are going to be able, I'm just going to move our little heads around here so I can make this as big as I can. All right, so when you sign up, you are going to get access immediately to be able to run the AO scan. Now, when I started, I know that you guys don't want a history lesson, but I'm going to share with you anyway, that when I started this technology, they actually required us to buy $1,000 device that we had to run this technology from. And since then, we have been able to now be able to access this from any device. So whether it be my computer, my iPhone, an Android phone, a tablet, all of those ways that we can actually access this material, we don't have to have any specialized device. What I do to access it is I put into the URL app.aoscan.com, and you can just do that from, like I said, any device. This is a web-based app, and it's not necessarily an app, it's web-based, meaning you have to put the URL in it, okay? Now, once you get in, it's gonna look like this. One of the things that I'm going to do as I onboard you guys is I'm going to actually start you out with a use of the version 2, because I believe that with this updated version is actually a little bit more intuitive, and the people that have started to use it actually prefer it. So the very first time that you guys ever log into this, it's going to look like this. I am going to encourage you to, in the upper right-hand corner of your screen, you're going to see these little horizontal lines. You're going to click on this. And you are going to go to theme and you can do dark or light. I prefer dark, but version 2, this is what it's going to look like. It's a little bit more user-friendly, and I think that when you start off using it that way, it's going to become even more user-friendly for you, okay? So we've logged in using the username and password that you would have been given when you signed up, okay? And it's going to look like this. It's going to be just blank. What you're going to do at very first step is you're going to put yourself in as the profile client that we are going to allow for the AO scan to both read and deliver from your biofield, okay? Now, when I use terms like biofield and frequency and things like that, I am more than happy to share with you a resource that I have created myself, which is a basic overview of quantum physics. And so if some of this technology is foreign to you, and these terminologies are foreign to you, don't sweat it. You don't have to know these things in order to understand and to use the AO scan. I just want to make sure I point that out. So here I am logged in. I'm going to go ahead into the upper right-hand corner where there's a little circle with a human outline, and I am going to create new client. So when I hit create new client, it is going to ask for the name, first and last, an email address. The email address is going to be important because that's where the reports are going to be sent. Male or female at birth. Now, this is important because we want to make sure that we have the anatomical parts that the person was born with as a reader of the frequencies in the biofield. Weight and height. Now, sometimes people, if you're doing this for somebody else, they might be a little bit apprehensive to give you their weight. This is what I tell people. I would like your approximate weight, because all of these data points allows for my technology to be able to identify you as a unique energy field that's unique to anything else in the universe. And all of these pieces help it to be as accurate as possible. Okay, so approximate weight, height, birth date. One thing to know about birth date is that oftentimes it's best to just, when you click on this, unless you're going to put it in manually, like 0105, 2020. If you go here, you're going to want to make sure that you find the year first, and it's just going to make it a lot easier for you to find what it is that you need to find. And then from there, get the month and then the date of birth, okay? Now it's going to also ask you for a picture. Now this is going to be a good, better, best perspective, because what I believe is that the more information that we have, the more accurate we have in creating this biofield digital thumbprint that we're using to allow for the system to be able to read and deliver energy to and from you. And ideally we'd have a picture of them from the neck up with a plain background in the back. That's the best case scenario. Oftentimes, though, people don't have a picture at all. It still works. So I'm just going to give you a good, better, best situation. In the middle, that better situation is maybe just getting a profile picture off of Facebook or something like that. But this is what is intended for that. You can just upload right here. And then when we're all done, we're going to hit finished. And that is how we create a new client profile. I'm not going to create one right now because I already have myself in it. But that's how you do that, okay? Now, if you want to create multiple profiles, you can create as many as you want to. There is no limit. So you can put your entire family, all of your pets, your clients, your friends, your coworkers, your students. It doesn't matter. You can put as many people in here as you want to. If the person that you have a profile currently ends up getting their own subscription, they will have to go in and create their own profile in their system. It doesn't transfer over. I just want to make sure that you're aware of that. Okay, so when you already have yourself in, you're going to go ahead and hit search existing clients. Search existing clients, and this is how you can find yourself. And here I am. Notice that my picture is like, I was sick that day and I was like, all right, let's just get this thing started. And so I haven't changed it. It's kind of funny. All right. And so this is where it's going to give me just the basic overview of everything that I have access to. Okay, now the AO Scan right now has committed to not raising their prices, and they can just continue to add more features. And so as the time that I'm recording these are the features that we have currently. There also are a few things that you can unlock later on in your AO Scan journey by taking a few extra classes that give you access to some things. And the only reason that the rest of us don't have access to that is because they just want to make sure that people understand how to use it. And so that's the only thing. Okay, so here we are. I'm going to just kind of walk you through a few of these different pieces that are here, and just to give you a general overview of the different parts. However, I'm also going to point you into some resources that are going to show you how to watch little videos on each of the pieces that give you a little bit more information, more than what I'm going to do in the time that we have allotted for today. Okay. Now, personally, I'm going to kind of give you a how I use this myself, kind of a good, better, best situation so that you have access to that. And I'm going to scroll all the way down here until I see these things called energetic boosts and auras. What this is going to do is it's going to have a ability for me to have a very quick influence on my energy field with just a push of a button. And I personally have found that when I can clear my energy field from any of the influences that I've had throughout my day. That can include who I've talked to, things I've eaten, my emotional state, environmental toxins. It's going to clear all of that out so that I can have a fresh biofield in which for it to read and to deliver different things. So I usually like to go down here and I hit the clear button, and it's just going to go ahead and give us 20 seconds and it's going to clear. Now, you may or may not have heard the sound that comes out of that. I'm going to just let you know that anything that is allowing us to broadcast, and I'm going to say broadcast because what that does is it allows us to send in energy to our biofield from the machine. You don't have to listen to the sound. You just have to push the button and accept that it is sending. But I actually do hear some sound. And in fact, what I'm going to do just to ensure that I have it all working properly is I am going to stop sharing, and then I'm going to go back and share again just to make sure that my sound is turned on. Okay. Here we go. All right. So next I'm going to shield myself. You probably can hear that. Stop it. And what that's going to do is going to shield my energy field from any outside influences. And I also prefer this EMF shield, which is going to shield my biofield from EMF that's in the Wi-Fi and the 5G and all the things that we're exposed to on the daily basis. Okay. And those can be activated by just hitting the button. Again, you don't have to listen. And it's super simple. It already knows that it's going to go to me just because of the fact that I am the client. And that's an important part, is that it has to identify you as the person that it's receiving and reading the energy from. Okay. The other thing that I want to share with you is something called the Easy Scan. The Easy Scan is something that I do every single day. And like I said, I personally like to clear and shield myself because it's going to give the machine as much help to accurately read my biofield to be able to know exactly what's going on and allowing all of my energy to be as clean as possible in order for it to do it. The other thing I'm going to encourage you guys all to do is drink plenty of water because it's going to do a better job when you're adequately hydrated. Okay. Now, when I'm doing the easy scan, all I need to do is hit the start scan, and in a few minutes, I'll show you how I do this. But it's going to ask me to give me permission to use my microphone, and it's going to count down a couple seconds. Now, my job when I do the easy scan is to just speak into it for about 10 seconds. A good, better, best perspective on this. If I want to do it the best way, I'm going to think about something that makes me sad for about 5 seconds. And then I'm going to think about something that makes me happy for about 5 seconds. And what that does is it allows for it to be able to capture my full range of emotions before it analyzes my voice. Okay. I also am going to speak into it, and I'm going to use the phrases I am LaChelle Weemy. So whatever your name is, I am. And that really just takes an intention of energy saying I am, this is me, this is my voice. And then it basically allows for this beautiful analysis of the emotions that are stored inside of your vocal cords to be able to be interpreted through a very fancy algorithm that's going to tell us the top emotions that we're current overexpressing and the ones that we've been pushing down in our body and in our subconscious for greater than 2 years, all from 10 seconds of our voice. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and hit start scan in just a moment. I also wanted to point something out. Okay. This particular easy scan that I'm showing you is easy because I can do everything with one push of a button. This is why I'm taking the time to show you this one specifically. I'll give you resources for others. What it's doing is it's going to analyze my body and the energetics within the cells of my body. And it's going to compare them to what they consider as blueprint frequencies that are known in our database to be in harmony, and it's going to be able to show where in my body my cells are vibrating faster than expected, which could indicate a acute inflammation, or slower than expected, which could indicate a chronic depletion. It doesn't really matter all of those things that I'm telling you as far as getting into the weeds quite yet. But what I'm just saying is that it's going to use my voice and it's going to read my biofield to tell it where my body is vibrating in comparison to what we would know as neutral. When I'm speaking to my voice, I don't need any special equipment other than the microphone from whatever the device I'm using. As it's analyzing the cells of my body in this vital scan and comprehensive exam, if you can see that it includes all 3 of these different scans in the easy scan, it's going to read the vibration of my body. Now, you have the option when you enroll and anytime, it's least expensive for people when they enroll, is to get a bone conductive headphones. And I should have grabbed mine for you guys. But what that does when you use the bone conductive headphones, anytime you are doing a vital scan or a comprehensive scan, it is going to use the vibration of your jaw to add to the information. So you will likely find that the results of the vital scan and the comprehensive scan can be up to 40% more accurate when you use the bone conducting headphones during the vitals and the comprehensive exam. Okay. Now, good, better, best, as I always say. And so you can absolutely run a scan for somebody from anywhere in the world. In fact, I have people send me voice text of their 10-second voice clip. And all I do is I hold my phone up next to my computer and I let it run their scan. They don't have a bone conductive headphones and it still does a beautiful job analyzing. So I just want to help you guys understand that it's not 100% necessary. It's just going to give you better results. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate this. So I'm going to hit start scan and hopefully it works on my computer. We'll find out. I am LaChelle Weemy, and I am really enjoying speaking to the people on our Q&A Zoom right now. It's Monday. It's been a busy day, but it's been a good day. Notice how, let's see. I don't don't know if that helps, if you guys can hear me now instead of hearing the machine. Is that how it is? Yeah, okay, good. Notice how right now it's doing my inner voice. So it's analyzing my emotional state right now. And it is in just a moment going to start to analyze my body. And it's again looking at the vibration of the cells of my body and comparing it to what we know is neutral. Okay. Then it's going to automatically optimize my energy based off of what it has read. And it basically what it does is it optimizes by tapping into your brain, and your brain knows where your body needs to prioritize energy. And so it's going to read where I'm out of alignment. It's going to allow my brain to help it tell it what needs to be fixed, and then it's going to send subtle energies back to me. The best way for me to describe this is that if I'm sitting up nice and straight and I slightly have tilted to the right, this machine with optimization just gently just brings me back into balance. It's very simple, it's very subtle, it's very gentle, and that's all it's doing. And I will tell you guys that just by doing my easy scan every day, I don't have to look at my report. I don't have to pay attention to any of that to know that it is automatically reading my body and allowing my brain to tell it what it needs to adjust. And it's gently pushing myself back into harmony as much as it can. Over the last almost 6 years that I've been using this technology, I find that the things on my reports are less and less and less just because I do this practice every single day, allowing it to scan me and optimizing me on its own. And so whether you are using this to get insight into different things, or whether you just know that you want your body to heal and do the things that it needs to do for itself, this is really just the important part, is just allowing it to do it. Okay. I hope that that helps and just takes some of this and makes it simple. And it does take a few minutes for this process to happen. So I'm gonna just go ahead and let it keep running. In the meantime, while I'm using this, I am gonna go ahead, I think, and open up another browser just so I can keep showing you guys as it's working. Notice how you can log in to a separate browser. So at the top of my screen, I don't know if you can tell, but I have two AOScan browsers in. This allows me to multitask. I can do several things at once without getting kicked off. I also can have different clients in different tabs as well. It's going to default to me, but notice how if I changed it, it would allow me to change it. Okay. So that easy scan is running it right now. Now, what is the easy scan really quickly, big picture? The easy scan is literally just a combination of several different scans: the inner voice scan, the vital scan, and the comprehensive scan. So there's 3 different scans that you get just by clicking on one button. And that's why I'm going to keep it really simple for you guys and just show you this as a way to just get into the habit of using this. Okay. Hopefully this is helping. All right. And I'm just going to check to see where we're at. We're almost there. Okay, I already mentioned that you can add as many client profiles in here as you possibly want to. There are different ways that you can add your pets and animals. You can add spaces and objects like your home. I have realtors that add their properties to here. I have a couple of Airbnbs that I use as objects, and I send frequencies to them. I clear the energy from them. I do all kinds of things all virtually just by having them as objects. I also can use the AO scan to scan multiple people at once, read multiple people at once. And those are some kind of advanced things that I feel like are beyond where I'm going to go at this exact moment. If we have time, I'm happy to dive into some of those. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some resources. Ultimately, my goal today is to get you using the stinking AO scan, knowing how to log in, knowing how to add yourself and other clients, and doing something simple that's going to allow for you to have optimized health. And then as you play, you're going to be able to find yourself getting more and more comfortable adding different modalities onto this. All right, we're still scanning, almost done. All right. The other feature that I'm going to show you is CEPI. Now, CEPI stands for Subtle Energy Frequency Imprinter. This is going to be a game changer for people who recognize that this ability allows us to literally pick from a vast, beautiful menu of different energy frequencies, and I can send it to myself, to my family, to clients, and allows for it to impact my vibrational field. Okay. Basic overview is that my heart has electrical beats. My brain communicates the cells through electrical signals. Between the two of them, the electricity between my brain and my heart creates an electromagnetic field that is now my biofield around my body. Okay, that's kind of what we're talking about. And what this does is it allows for us to essentially use what we call resonance energy. So if I were to bang a tuning fork on the table, it's going to vibrate. Okay. There's a really cool demonstration that I've seen where they have two tuning forks. One of them is just in the other hand, and they bang one on the table, and this one starts to vibrate at the same frequency. The reason is because they communicate through resonance energy. That's how this technology is working. You tune into a vibrational frequency from a menu, and it's going to send that frequency to your body as if you are the recipient of a radio station, sending information. Okay, so I'll come back to that in a second. All right, so the CEPIs are going to be there are playlists that the AOScan has already curated for us. I personally love them. I have just overarching achiness in my joints, and I click on this lifestyle one, and it has all of the frequencies that I would need to have just a pain-free day, and it works. And I send this to myself every single day. So there are different menus that the AOScan people have curated for us, and then we can curate ones of our own, which is really great. But basically what I'm doing is I'm showing you that we have different options on how to send our biofield or somebody else's biofield energies from a playlist. And sometimes when I'm on Zoom, it takes just a little bit longer. So I just wanted to point that out. All right, so I just happened to pick the lifestyle pain one. Notice how there's a whole bunch of different homeopathics and different frequencies. Scientists over the last several years, decades actually, have identified and been able to categorize the frequencies of certain things. So for example, we know the frequency that is going to help with arthritis. We know the frequency that helps with rheumatoid arthritis. We know the frequency that helps with poor circulation. And what they're doing is they're basically taking that frequency and sending it to my body, and my body receives it through resonance energy. How do I do that? I'm hitting something called broadcast. Broadcast is essentially like the radio station. So if you think about the AOScan, wherever you're logged in from, is like Casey Kasem in his LA studio back in the 80s with his top 40 countdown. Okay, so the machine is like the radio station. I am the client in the upper right-hand corner. I am the recipient. I am me in my little bedroom, tuning into 98.6 to record on my mixtape, okay? So I'm the recipient of this. And so all I need to do is to select the frequencies, and then I broadcast to myself. And all I need to do is hit play. And I have the sound turned down. You can hear that. Again, with CEPI frequencies, you do not have to listen to the sound. They're not lovely to listen to. You don't have to. The only reason the sound is there is for us to have the confirmation that it's working. Okay. If you do want to listen, it's not going to hurt anything by any means. And sometimes it allows for your brain to accept things a little bit faster, but it's not necessary. And I'm just going to go ahead and just let it run. Now you can choose between letting the energies send to you individually, so one at a time. It's just going to go down through these different things, or you can pick to have them sent simultaneously. Some people find that they are very sensitive to energy. In fact, they can only handle one at a time. And so you're going to know that if people just start to feel less good after you start to send them frequencies. Maybe just don't send them all at once. Send them one at a time. Obviously, it's faster to send all of them at the same time, but you just have to let your body guide you a little bit. You can also choose to broadcast them for just 5 minutes, for 10 minutes, 2 hours, or continuously. Okay. And the other thing that I want to point out is that you also can imprint things into inanimate objects. So for example, I will imprint energies into a glass of water and I will drink it in the morning. I will imprint energies into to my jewelry, or I have negative ion bands, bracelets that I purchased directly from Solex that I can imprint energy into. They usually last between 3 to 5 days. And so I will imprint things like immunity into my bands and allow it to constantly be impacting my biofield. So you can certainly imprint objects as well as broadcast them. Okay. You guys have any questions so far? I guess I should have the chat open here. I don't see anything yet. So I'm going to keep going unless I see anything. I'll be happy to stop. Okay. So that's a little bit about CEPI. One thing I will note that when you are going to imprint something, you'll want to erase the things that you're going to imprint first. So for example, if I was going to imprint my wedding ring, I would want to erase the energies that are on there first. And I would preferably use my phone or my iPad so that I could actually set my wedding ring on it. It doesn't really work with my computer desktop that I'm using right now. You're just going to hit the erase button, place the object in the center of it and hit start. And it's going to erase the frequencies that are in the object. And from there, you have a clean slate in which to imprint. Okay, and you can imprint multiple frequencies at once into an object. All right, so that's a little bit about subtle energy frequency imprinting. It's really cool, and I think that one of the first things that I did when I started using the AO scan is I just had fun getting into the menus, and I'm going to encourage all of you guys to do that. Within these, you're going to find all kinds of different menus. So I'm going to hit, for example, this quantum reach menu, and I'm going to click this down and look at all of the things that they have already been able to categorize. The frequency for abundance, the frequency for having energy, the frequency for forgiveness, the frequency for inner peace, perfect recall, stress-free. Do you see how there's lots of different ways you could use this throughout your day for mental, physical healing, for productivity, for wealth and abundance? It's pretty remarkable. I'm also going to show you inside of the quantum frequency list. Oh my goodness, this list is unbelievable. Just having so much fun going through and just seeing all of the things that you can actually use energy frequencies to be able to help your body heal from. So it's pretty cool. So I'm just going to have you play around with that and have some fun with it. All right, now let's go back to the AO scan easy scan that I did a few minutes ago. It's finished. And so this is what the report is going to look like. And I want to show you guys a little bit about what I do with this information. Okay. Now, if I look at this, really, I can just hit this little balancing harmonics. And you're going to find that there are going to be 4 different little musical playlists that are going to be curated exactly for you in the moment. And so, for broadcasting, that's a great question. You don't have to be anywhere near your computer. In fact, I broadcast for people all over the world. I have clients and friends and family that I send frequencies to that are literally across the world from me. So it doesn't matter because getting geeky into science, this uses something called scalar waves instead of radio frequency waves. Radio frequency waves actually get weaker with distance, which is why in surgery, when I wear a lead apron or when I stand behind a lead barrier, the radio frequency actually is blocked. That's because those waveforms are different. Scalar energy does not dissipate over distance or time. And so you can send it anywhere in the world without it losing its potency. Okay. Now, I'm not going to pay a lot of attention to the results from this. I'm just kind of show you a little bit how to use things. But I want to point out something. Let's see if I had them. Yeah. So earlier today, when I did my scan, it showed me the color of this blue. And so what you're going to find is when you sign up, you have the opportunity to be able to purchase an enrollment bundle that includes things like the bone conducting headphones that I mentioned earlier and these glasses. Now, the glasses are going to utilize light frequencies in addition to sound frequencies to be able to allow for the stuck energy in your body to start dissipating and healing. So you think about it, you have energies that can be left as wadded up balls of energy stuck inside of your body system somewhere that can lead to dis-ease, right? It also can be things that are trapped inside of your subconscious. And so when I add the color therapy onto listening to my music, it can speed up my results. So I just want to make sure that you understand that so that when you're talking to somebody who might want to use your affiliate link, you can help them make the best decision, noting that none of it is necessary. It's a good, better, best situation. So do they want faster results or not? Okay. Notice how, and again, this is a little bit more advanced, but I have added all of the different homeopathies frequencies that are part of the AO scan inside of my system. And so when it scanned me, it actually knew in real time which different homeopathics my body needs right now, including if I have supplements that I use, I could add them in here. I even sometimes will say, tell me if I need a nap or if I need yoga or a walk. It'll tell me exactly what I need. And I oftentimes will take a glass of water and I will erase it and imprint all of these into my water as I am using the exact thing that is telling me that I need. Now, the easy scan is going to give me results that are going to be the most out of balance. Remember that our goal is neutral. Our goal is a 5. Anything that is vibrating faster than what we expect is going to show up as like an 8 and 9. Anything that's vibrating slower than what we would expect is going to show up at like a 1 or a 2. The easy scan is really just going to show me the extremes without overwhelming me with all the data, but I can definitely show you guys how to find more information if you need to. But again, I don't look at my reports. I don't because any one-time picture is going to just be indicative of that one moment in time that's going to be influenced by my emotional state, the things I've just eaten, the people I'm around. What we want to look for if you're going to use the AO scan to help you with your health and your wellness, and you actually want to start using it to help identify trends and things that might be going on below the surface, you're going to want to look for multiple scans that continue to show the same thing. And that's what we want to look for. I personally don't pay any attention to anything that isn't present for at least five scans. And so I just want to make sure that I point that out to you. Now, this is going to read lots of different things for me if I wanted to look at it. Everything from food sensitivities to my blood work. It's as if I had a blood or urine test. It's going to show me what my chakras were. And again, use the word chakra. Some people, are have an aversion to that word. This is the most widely used terminology for this in scientific data, which is why they use the word chakras. And it's going to show me that it looked at my energies before and then it optimized it so that my energies, my chakras look better than they did before. It does the same thing for my meridians. I have even more data points that would be as if I had a blood or urine test. And then it's going to look at my overall body as if I were having an MRI. So it's looking at different parts of my body and tell me what's mostly out of balance. Again, I personally allow for the machine to just scan me and optimize me, knowing that it's doing the work for me. And the only time I want to pay attention is if I'm not feeling well and I'm just curious if there's a trend over and over and over again. And I like to just not worry too much about it. there's people who love that stuff, and I think that it's great to allow that curiosity to guide you, but you do not have to be an expert in this in order to use the skin technology because it literally does everything for you. Okay. Let's see. I want to point out, let's see here. Just because I want to show you that this one scan does all of those things, I'm going to show you how to find more detailed information in just a second. But before I do that, I'm also going to point out that every single feature inside of the AO scan has this little information button. You can click on it and it's going to give you more information, like a little help report. Okay. All right. Let's see here. I'm going to show you that here too. So if I go back to CEPI, this little question mark is going to describe to me exactly what it is and a little link to a YouTube video on how to use it. So you have lots of different term support within the actual app itself. Okay. I always can get back to the main menu by clicking on the AO scan words at the top. And if I wanted to know a little bit more about my voice analysis, for example, I can click on the inner voice part. Remember, I told you that the easy scan is a combination of 3 different scans, that it does everything within the push of one button, which is so great. But if I wanted to know a little bit more about what's going on emotionally, I can go to the inner voice and I can click on view summary. Again, there's a little information thing there. And this is going to show me the 3 emotions that I'm currently overexpressing, the dominant emotions that are acute to me right now. And then the one that I'm pushing down for greater than 2 years. And oftentimes when we click on these, we're like, oh yeah, that totally makes sense. Okay. And I can just listen to music. And just listening to the music is going to give us the exact prescription of tones and notes that are going to balance out my out of range emotions, like 2 opposing waveforms that crash in the ocean, balance each other out. This is how noise canceling headphones work. And so all I did was I submitted my 10-second voice clip and it ran it through a giant algorithm and it looked at where I am out of range, and it's going to give me the exact musical notes and octaves to balance out those emotions. What does that do? It regulates my nervous system. It helps me feel calm. It helps me to bring myself back into center. And it's also, because it's going to be those opposing waveforms, it's going to help to dissolve over time any stuck balls of energy that are stuck in my body and my subconscious. So if you do anything, guys, if you do anything with this technology, literally spending just a few minutes doing the easy scan, letting it scan and optimize you, done. Don't even look at it if you don't want to. And then listen to your music. And listening to your music starts to unravel and unbind some of those emotional things that have going on. Scientists think that 85 to probably even closer to 100% of our physical symptoms have an emotional component to it. So just listening to your music is going to be a game changer for you. And it's going to be subtle and it's going to be gentle. But over time, I promise you that your life is going to change. Now, the thing about listening to your music, though, I'm going to tell you, is that they use technology called binaural beats. And what that means is that the sound is going to come into your right ear slightly different than your left ear. Why does that matter? It matters because when the sound comes in differently in your right or your left, your brain has to communicate with each other in order for you to process the sound. That means that it bypasses or it connects the right and left hemispheres of your brain, and it allows for you to essentially listen to the music almost in the center of your head. And that allows for it to get into the subconscious, bypassing the conscious barrier. And so listening to your music with headphones, earbuds are going to help this process to work as effectively as possible. Okay. All right. That was a big overview, I guess, of of the AO scan as a very basic tool. Again, there's lots of things that you could do with it, and I'm going to encourage you guys to show up on our Monday calls. We allow for Q&A. Oftentimes we'll go through different features, ask you, you guys can ask questions, and we can allow for the knowledge to continue to grow. But this is the basic, like how to get started function from day one. Okay. And let's see, I just wanted to read this. So, how to get to the deeper inside of your inner voice. Yep. So you're going to go, so from the main menu, you are going to scroll down and to get to inner voice. Then if you scroll down, you're going to see this thing that says view summary. I'm going to click on that. And then from here, you'll see that there's 3 that are most out of range. You see that? These are the ones that's picking up. And the one that's most suppressed is the one that's going to be the shortest. And that's what we're seeing here. And if I click on each one of these individually, you're going to see what they mean and how they impact the rest of your body, potential causes, different things like that. Okay. One thing I want to pay attention, I want to point out to you guys, because this is where I get a lot of questions, is LaChelle, how is it that I have, let me show you back. So if I go back to my easy scan and I'm going to hit on this enhanced report. So I'm going to bring up my thing again. Okay. So let's just say I'm scrolling down and I'm going to show you. Okay. So this says that I have in my system right now, 1, 2, 3, 4 parasites. And you're like, oh my gosh, like, does this mean I'm dying? Or I've had people tell me, they're like, LaChelle, I don't understand. Why does it tell me that I have syphilis? Or why does it tell me that I have this or that? This is what I'm going to tell you about this. Number one, I don't get caught up too much in reading this stuff because it is a sliver of a snapshot. If you see the same results coming up over and over again every time you scan, we're going to pay attention to that. Okay. Number 2 is that because the database is very expansive, but not all inclusive of every single thing that's ever been in existence, it's going to pick the frequencies that are closest energetically to the thing that's out of range. And so sometimes it's not that you have syphilis, it's that it's the closest energetically to whatever it is that is picking up. So just pay attention to that we're not diagnosing, we're not using any of this as like you have this. It's just picking up an imbalance in the frequencies that are associated with the thing that we have closest to us in that. And so I just want to point that out. And then somebody had asked me about the inner voice. So yes, it is better to listen to the inner voice with the headphones now. As of September of 2025, they made updates that allow for us to have binaural beats, which is why we want to use the headphones, because if you just listen to it from your iPad or your computer, your brain is not able to pick up on those subtleties, and it's not able to get to the left and the right hemisphere talking to each other. So I'm going to suggest that you utilize headphones in some way for that. Okay. Let's see. I purchased the AO scan package of supplements. Do you have time to go over what to take and when? You know what, Lois? That's a great question. And I am going to reserve that for either you and I can have that conversation outside of this, or to bring that up next Monday at the Q&A, just because I want to keep this as streamlined as I can for just the basic AO scan onboarding, but I don't want you to feel like you're not getting your questions answered. So we'll make sure that we address that. Okay. So that is a crash course, I guess, into the AO scan. Now, if you're like, LaChelle, oh my goodness, that was a lot, and we've already been at this for 15 minutes, and I don't know if I can remember that. I want to show you guys where I look for things when I need to find things, because repetition is huge, and oftentimes we just need to find things when we need to find them, okay? So what you're going to do is when you originally logged in and got yourself signed up, you will have been given access if you are a If you are a QLA, which is what I always recommend people sign up for because it gives you the option to have your own affiliate link. And when you start to use this and use this consistently, you're going to find that it makes a big difference in your life and you're going to automatically share it. So when you become a QLA or a quantum living advocate with your affiliate link, you're going to get access to this back office. And within this back office, there are some resources for you, okay? So if I go to the very left side of my screen and I go to training and I go to training courses, gonna have me log in. Oh, hold on. It had logged me out. Okay, here we go. We have the Solex University. And inside of this is just basic training. It's going to take you down tiny little videos on each of the different features inside the AO scan. And Lauren Swenson, the founder, is going to be teaching you himself. And so you'll have all of the information that you need from a very basic perspective. And it's just right there. Okay. So I want to make sure that you guys understand that you have access to the basic training right here inside of your back office. Okay. Click here to enroll, click here to log in, and it's going to take you through those videos one tiny simple step at a time. All right, that's resource number one. Resource number two that I wanted to point out is Facebook. This has been a really great resource for many people. One of the very first things that I do when I want to know information is I go to my community. So I have, I'm gonna go here inside of Facebook and I'm gonna do Solex AO Scan official group is an amazing resource. As you can see, there's almost 13,000 people in this group. Everyone from people who are me that are just, basically using it because it's allowing my body to just do its own wellness and healing, to people who are running quantum wellness clinics. So there's lots of resources within this. The first thing that I personally do is I search the group. So if I have a question about something, let's just say that I have um, an ailment that I was curious if there's any CEPI playlists for example. I can just go over here and I can search the group and see if anybody has actually posted anything about that or asked about that. If I don't see anything in that initial search, then you can absolutely ask the question and people are really good about answering. I also find that this is just a group that tends to show up in my feed and I'm learning constantly. And I have a little folder that I save resources from this group all the time. And I just titled it The Scanner because it's just been a fantastic resource for me. So the AO Scan official Facebook group is going to be one of my first go-tos for something that I want to learn. Another go-to resource that I use is, let's see here. It's Solex LLC. Solex is our parent company. Solex LLC has 413 videos in this massive library that we have access to, okay? This is just a welcome to the AO scan, very basic video. You can use this to send to people if they want information. We have playlists in here. So there are playlists, basic training, 13 videos, just like the ones that I showed you inside the back office. So if you're lazy like me and you want to just find it really fast without having to log into the back office, this is a great way to do it. If you want to learn how to run different scans, they have different smaller videos for us here. They have different topics like advanced topics like supplements and pets and different things like that are all right here. So I want you guys to know that this is a really great resource as well. And oftentimes I will find myself searching YouTube for things related to the AO scan because many of our colleagues, many of my friends that are in leadership have done an amazing job of demonstrating and sharing about different AO scan things in their own YouTube channels. So that's definitely something that you have access to. I am going to point something out myself. Let's see. This is the video that I mentioned. If you just type in LaChelle Weemy in quantum physics, this is a quick little 20-minute video that I did that teaches people just basics on quantum physics. So this is a really just great, easy resource for you guys to have with that. I also have a replay of all our Monday calls that are shared with you guys inside of a playlist that I have created. And I didn't have the link to that ready, so let me see if I can think about it. I might have to just look for that link off the top of my head. I don't have the playlist right now ready to go for you. I apologize for that. But there's a lot of resources that we have inside of our little team here for things for you guys to know. Then I want to point out another resource that you have. Inside of Facebook, I've also created for you a group called Quantum Leap, AOScan Quantum Leap. This is something that I have done that I've curated, and inside of this are different guides. So for example, I have videos in here of like what is the AOScan, what can it do for you, how to read things, how to read your reports, things that I've done myself, videos, and I've also shared some of the Solex stuff, inner voice, comprehensive and vitals, different CEPI playlists that I've created for people. There's a practitioner's guide to using it. So if you are somebody who wants to use it with more of a wellness perspective, there's definitely how-tos in there. Some supplements, imprinting frequencies into water, adding supplements to your library, things like that, adding pets to your library. Many people in my particular circle are from the Christian background and wonder, well, is it okay that I'm using some of this stuff? And I have an entire guide dedicated to energy in the Christian faith so that you understand how this works with God's divine plan instead of against it, so that you can, not worry about that. And then basics things on quantum physics that I found. So I just want to make sure that you guys have access to that. How to use different things. So just know that I've created this for you. We also have inside of the community that I've built, I'm going to stop sharing my screen so I can actually see you guys. Inside of the community that we built, like I said, I host Q&As every Monday at 4 p.m. Central so that people can come. It's a completely easy, non-intimidating, like no questions, a silly question, just come and ask. And it's a way for all of us to support each other, get to know each other. I oftentimes answer the questions, somebody else might answer the question, but it's a way for you guys to come and continue to get support. So I want to make sure that you know that you're invited every single Monday. And again, we're going to devote the first Monday of the month to specifically onboarding. And if there's somebody that you know that is interested in this technology, have them come to this one so that they can just kind of see a little bit of background on how to use it, some of the things that they could use it for, and just know that there's support, that you don't have to be an expert in this, that you'll have fun playing with it and things will start to evolve on their own automatically. We also have inside of in Facebook, we have a Facebook group chat that you can ask questions, you can ask for support, and I share in there reminders for upcoming meetings and events that we have and those types of things going on, so that you have plenty of access to ways to ask questions and make sure that you're getting support where you need it. Goodness sakes, this went by fast. I think I got through everything inside of the chat for questions. I will entertain questions for maybe just a couple more minutes. Does anybody have anything? Did we do okay? Yeah? Do you feel a little bit more empowered to get yourself in there and have some fun with it? And just remember that you don't have to be an expert. One thing I'm going to share with you real quick as we sign off. You cannot mess this up, okay? Your body will not accept energy that is not for its best good. So if I am blasting CEPI energies to myself or to my family and it is not the right energy, my body, their body will literally reject it. So you cannot mess this up. Push buttons, play with it, have fun with it. You will not screw it up. Okay? And that's what I'm going to say is just get in there, have fun, know that we have a beautiful community here that is here for you to ask questions and safely just inquire about things and just have fun with it. All right? Okay. Excellent. Well, thanks you guys for your attentiveness. This is such a weird thing for me to just talk the whole dang time, but thanks for listening. And I will see you. We'll be meeting next Monday at 4 p.m. Central. Okay. All right. Bye, everyone.